InWheelTime Car Talk, and this is our bonus hour, and we're going to get to our regular show time slot coming up here in just a couple of minutes. I did want to mention that. And also an interesting story that I thought I'd throw in here. Jeep is giving Americans named George Washington a reason to closely watch the World Cup this year. An ad campaign that launched June 11th promises free 2026 Wranglers to 100 people legally sharing a name with the nation's first president if the U.S. team wins the tournament. The massive soccer spectacle, played every 4 years, features 48 teams, as you well know, and of course they're doing it as well in Houston. It's a massive stage expected to draw billions of viewers around the world on TV, and the latest unconventional marketing move from Jeep, a campaign starring comedian Eliza Schlesinger. Never heard of her, but that's not my generation, I don't think. Last year touted the Grand Wagoneer as the best vehicle to have sex in.
What?
That's what it says here. Schlesinger also is part of the latest effort called All In on America, a Jeep's chief soccer officer. She reveals the World Cup giveaway while sitting below what she labels a historically accurate image of General Washington in a Wrangler. The portrait mimics the famous painting of Washington crossing the Delaware with Continental Army soldiers during the Revolutionary War. The irreverent spirit of the George Washington premise goes along with the more humorous tone the brand has taken recently, as well they should, said Oliver Francois, marketing chief for Jeep parent Stellantis.
Okay.
All right, we're going to take another quick break here, and we'll be right back here on the InWheelTime Car Talk Show from Lone Star Street Rod Association, state-run in Granbury. Stay with us.
Your car is a direct reflection of you, so don't be satisfied with color fade or a dingy, dull appearance. Get rid of those terrible automated car wash scratches. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your Save the Paint company. John Gray and his team of detailing experts can help your car's finish without a full repaint. Searching for real experts in window tint or windshield protection? Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Dash cams, radar detectors, Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Got a new car? Get it protected as soon as you take delivery. If you don't know which of the multitude of protection products to go with, John Gray will give you an honest opinion and won't sell you something you don't need. John will help you understand the many options and pricing right on the spot. He's your guy to have your ride looking its best and protected too. See this state-of-the-art shop yourself. Free tours anytime. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is easy to get to, located just south of the Southwest Freeway on the Sam Houston Parkway. Gulf Coast Auto Shield, full-service luxury car care today and online at gcautoshield.com. Gift giving should be meaningful, and we have an idea. A hand-painted custom illustration of your car from one of the nation's leading artists. Now you can get one or a car show poster customized for you, a friend, or a loved one. Bill Sites will be happy to guide you through the process. No matter what the day, birthday, anniversary, or any day, an Autographics custom illustration adds an extra touch of class to any home. Call Bill today, 832-922-0963. That's 832-922-0963.
We need to play the open, but that's okay. We won't do it. We'll just, yes, please. It is the InWheelTime Confusing Talk Show. Today, coming to you from the Lone Star Street Rod Association State Car Run here at Hewlett Park in Granbury, Texas. Just ahead, another guest, and her name is Christi Edelbrock.
That sounds familiar.
The last
doesn't
name,
it? Yeah.
it does ring a bell, doesn't it?
I think so.
Just ahead, we've got that coming up, as well as some other features, and we invite you to stay with us for the next couple of hours here on the InWheelTime Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. Chief Engineer David Ainsley sitting over here. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. Thank you so much. Do you go by Christine?
Christi.
Well, we got it all wrong all the way around.
Both times. Even after we wrote it down, we still got it wrong.
This is an ongoing theme this morning, so my apologies.
You can call him Bob. I'm Frank.
You can call me anything.
Anything you want. We're
Manny,
here.
Mo, and John.
There's that, too. Yeah, absolutely.
Curly down in the end.
Yeah. Christi Edelbrock is our guest, and I know that you know the last name for sure. And we were just having a little conversation where we're in the commercial break about where she lives today. Now, you know, Edelbrock and most of the early hot rod stuff came out of Southern California, and she confirmed that she was born in Southern California. And I said to her, "Where do you live?" here.
Granbury.
She lives in Granbury. So,
Lake Granbury.
yeah. So when did you move here?
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
I
What-
went straight from the Indy 500 to here,
Wow.
and took possession of my property on the lake.
Wow. Are you proud? Are you happy? Do you love it here?
Oh, I love it. Love it.
Yeah.
You know, the small town vibe. The
It's
great
not that
people.
small, though. It's not as small as people would think. Oh, I've never heard of Granbury. Well, it's up there.
Yeah.
It's a secret.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And if you want to go to
Well-kept
Neiman
secret.
Marcus, you know, Dallas-Fort Worth is just up the road a
I
bit.
know. It's not too far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a couple of years that you've lived here, and I assume that you're somehow still affiliated with the Edelbrock Corporation?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Well, explain that to me.
Well, my dad, we just had the 9th anniversary of his passing a couple days ago. So, you know, the recession of 08 and 09 was very difficult on anything automotive.
Yes.
Because of the big three and the TARP money and all of that.
Right.
And banks wanted out of everything automotive, no matter what it was. And, you know, the recession pretty much tanked business. And so at the time, we had never asked the banks for any kind of money ever in our history. And they wouldn't support us. So we had to start looking for partners, lots of consultants, all that. You know, it was a change for a lot.
Because you inherited the
businesses.
company from your dad.
Well, my dad passed 7 or 8 years ago,
Right.
9 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. And so at the time of his passing, that's when it changed hands.
Okay.
To the
Oh, I
partners.
see. Okay.
Yeah.
So are you obviously affiliated by name? Are you affiliated at all with the company anymore?
Well, I work with the company, you know, to
so you're
you
the
know,
the ambassador.
you know, press and
Sure.
There's not many people blessed to have the last name Edelbrock.
Right.
So, you know, I do what I can to support, and you know, I've been in this ever since I was
birth.
little.
Yeah.
You know, my parents took us everywhere when we were young. The U.S. Nationals, you know, the Pomona drag races, you know, SEMA shows.
Oh, yeah.
I remember being, you know, this high and looking up at adults and cocktail parties and going, what do I say to these people?
Sure.
You know, so it was always a family business.
So when you were that young, your dad was still alive. Did he ever explain to you and school you on exactly what a manifold is? I assume that he did.
Well, a manifold was pretty easy to figure out
Right.
compared to other
Right,
products
exactly.
or component parts. We built 2 aluminum foundries in San Jacinto.
Oh, wow.
I worked at the first one that we built, the green sand cast foundry, for 10 years. Figured all that out. I knew nothing about the foundry business. I was competing in show jumping, Olympic show jumping
Oh, wow.
before that, and had my own business.
Wow.
And so then I moved to corporate in Torrance. That's where all our manufacturing facilities were, and corporate offices and that. And
It's a very industrial area, isn't it, Torrance?
kind of, but
Yeah.
now it's the homes around where our facility used to be are over $1 million.
That doesn't
Wow.
surprise
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the industry brought it in, obviously.
Yeah. So my dad had a tendency of putting me in places that there were issues and he needed help. And so I kind of became like the fixer, you know,
Troubleshooter, yeah.
running to the flames. And because I grew up we had a lot of long-term employees, that it was their one and only job. And they watched me grow up. So
Wow.
when we were working together, they'd be like, no, I'm not going to tell you what that is, that keeper, you know.
The keeper. Yes.
They'd have all these little nicknames and things. So I'd go out to the shop, get a keeper, figure out what it did. I taught myself how to read blueprints,
Wow.
you know. 'Cause
That is awesome. What a great story.
Oh, you know, from soup to nuts, I basically taught myself, you know. I asked my dad when I was a teenager. I said, I want to go work in the diner room.
Perfect.
And he said, no. I said, what do you mean, no? You don't need to know anything about that. I said, why not?
Yeah, learn it all.
So girls, women, get out there, bug your man, go to auto shop.
Yep.
There's great auto shop at Granbury High. You know, get involved, get your hands dirty. This is an industry that is a lot of fun. It can take you a lot of places.
Oh, yeah.
You meet great people, great stories, and to me, when you understand the history, it helps you understand your path forward. And you develop a passion like this that can stick with you for life. And it can lead you to places that you may never, ever have had the opportunity to be involved
That's
in.
right. Well said.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And,
And we talk with a lot of folks through the educational systems where, the shops and the dealerships and what you can do, all the avenues you have out of school or maybe taking some co-op classes and interning.
Yes.
So we do know those kind of processes and things, but to hear it actually from someone to say that,
Yes.
very well said.
Thank you. And don't be afraid to ask questions. No question is, too small, too big. Get out there and teach yourself. My grandfather was self-taught. The family business in Eldebrock, Kansas was a grocery store, and the grocery store burnt down. My grandfather was 14, so he and his older brother went to California, the land of opportunity, to make money to send back to the family to rebuild the grocery store. And so my grandfather just started reading books, playing around, tinkering, all of that, just like Henry Ford. You put a tool in someone's hand and look what happens,
Yeah, exactly.
And 2 weeks before Pearl Harbor, my grandfather went 122 miles an hour on the dry lake bed.
I knew you were going to say, I knew where that happened.
Yeah. And people were just like, what?
Amazed.
It was his daily driver that he flat-toed out there. He didn't even have a truck, nothing. And, streamlined the whole thing. No oil pump. You can see him all crouched down, one hand on the steering wheel, the other hand through the wheel, working the pump. And that's what started it all. And then post-war, the hot rod era started to flourish. And, racing midgets from San Diego to Santa Barbara 5 days a week. And, later, people would come up to me and say, if your grandfather hadn't have done what he did, hot rodding wouldn't be what it is
That's
today.
exactly true.
That's very true.
And the first time someone told me that, I almost fell over. I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
And you look around, you just look around this event, how many of the Eldebrock products are on these vehicles?
Yeah.
Probably many on just one. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and not only that, but the influence of those Eldebrock products early on that led to other people building
The
stuff.
copycats, sort
But,
of.
well, the copycats,
Yeah.
but still, it's just part of the industry has grown because of people like your grandfather.
And let's not forget
well-
that we started off with the low rise, 2-barrel carburetor intake manifold, and I want to put a four barrel on it, and then it wasn't enough. Let's put a high rise on it.
Yeah.
So it was this constant grocery store of manifolds for me, anyway. Yeah.
New product. We were super big on new product. Very foot forward in that entity there. And, we're older than NASCAR, NHRA, Hot Rod Magazine, all of that.
And influenced all of those.
All of it.
Right. We were the only ones with a dyno, so the teams would come actually to Southern California, work with our guys on the dyno. Murray Jensen, a guy that worked with my grandfather, he handled all the NASCAR guys, and they had a hell of a good time hanging out in our place.
I'm sure.
I can only imagine.
And I didn't get to go in the dyno room, darn it. I said, Dad, what if my tire goes flat? Well, just call us. I'm like, no, I want to know how to change the tire. I figured it out later in life, but
I'm sure that he was a helping hand in a lot of your projects that you had when you were going through this self-educational stuff that you were going through. Dad, how do you do this, or why did you do that? And I would imagine that he would explain.
My dad was just a great storyteller, just so many memories of all the years.
His experiences.
Yes. Yeah. And, Vic Sr. was not an easy guy. He passed away at 49. And he and Katie, my grandmother, depression, lived through all of that. Grandma Katie, she worked for a family in Beverly Hills as a maid and lived with the family 4 days a week, went home on Friday night, and she saved her money from that job to buy the very first pattern for the flathead. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was totally grassroots, and
And it
that's
was the whole family.
no, totally. That's the way we grew up. We were working every summer when we were little. It was really cool because we charged for catalogs back in the day, and people would
That's
write
right.
letters in.
I
you know?
forgot that. You used to charge for catalogs.
Why
Yes.
not? Yeah.
But that's the way that it was.
And people would tape 4 quarters across the bottom of the letter. So here we are with my grandmother. We'd take the quarters off. We'd
Send me the
stuff
catalog.
the envelopes and everything, and all our friends are at the beach. But I think America needs more of that today. Take your kid to work, show them your hobby, get them involved. Social media is so toxic.
Yeah, do something with your children.
And
Yeah.
now
Do you have
there's
children? Sorry, Jeff. Do you have
Yes.
children?
Yes, I do.
And how old are they now?
I have an amazing son who is in the horse business
Uh-oh.
that I was in, show
Yeah.
jumping, and he runs a training and sales barn in our property in Temecula, California.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he is now in Europe at the south of France, showing there with one of his top clients, which I'm extremely jealous. I mean, I got to compete in Germany and Holland for a bit, but nothing like the south of France.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't need any help. You couldn't talk.
Well, I just couldn't quite figure out how to get there and when,
Time schedules and
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
talked about the education and going out there and doing that like you just spoke. Now the big thing is not going to college, taking up a trade, starting a business. So that's kind of the talk going on now in this 21st century for these young folks. But that's also good. Good point to make, because I got a granddaughter that wants to be a nurse.
Yeah.
Well, that you do require college for that.
Yeah.
But if you want to have somebody that wants to work on a car, well, then you have to get into the automotive side of it.
Right.
Not necessarily college, but there's other avenues you can do. So, yeah, I
But
agree with that.
What keeps some of the young people of getting into automotive is, they don't want to work at a dealership where you just plug it into the diagnostic, because
Yeah.
that's not any
DOB,
fun.
yeah.
Right? And so, Granbury High is a great automotive program, all this passion here. And so what I share is just, get some passionate about something and, get your hands dirty and start something small and stay under the radar. You don't need to be a big company,
Yeah, but that's back to the social media thing. It's got these younger kids so trained that's the important part. Well, 20 years ago it was nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Have them come to you.
Right. Social media is toxic. I think we need to work hard to move that, to the past. It has some good benefits, but not all the time. We
Right.
don't need to advertise and market only on Facebook.
Yeah.
I think that's a real.
Although we do love you, Facebook, for taking this show live right now. there is that, so thank you for that aspect of it.
Don't turn it off. Don't turn it off.
We're not only on Facebook, there's other avenues too, but that's just one.
You
of
know
them. I
the
had to
gist
throw
we're
that in.
going. Yeah, that was a good point. Touche.
Yeah,
Well, listening is one thing. Being on your screen is
that's true.
another.
That's true. And
Yeah.
we've done okay over the years doing this show, so we're happy with that.
Do you have any other projects going, personal projects that you're involved in with the company, or?
Not with the company right now. I'm busy. I have 11 acres on the north end of the lake.
Okay.
You need somebody to mow it once in a while, or something.
David's got a mower. David's got a lawnmower.
I need lots of things, and that's where I've seen the gaps and the opportunities here because, this town is growing pretty quickly. And so now while the opportunities are out there still, that's when you want to get involved, to get your feet wet. And you don't need a college education to, have
Work
a long
hard.
business.
But you know what?
work hard.
The one thing is the personal satisfaction that you get out of success in whatever it is that you choose. And people forget that. And, it's kind of like rebuilding an engine and you crank it up for the first time and it runs. You go, see, all those weeks of work that I put in it, there it is. Yeah.
And the naysayers.
You can't buy that. You have to do it yourself in this huge sense
and
of pride.
you can't get that from social media either.
Well, no, you can't.
Right, and it's an accomplishment.
Yes.
And, so what does social media give you? Oh, I want to be an influencer, and is that an accomplishment? Because 90% of the product that they're promoting is not any good anyway.
Yeah.
So, I think honesty is the best policy. Hard work. Don't be shy. Go up and extend your hand and introduce yourself. You just never know who you're going to meet.
That's true.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like we get to meet you, just like that.
Exactly.
That's it.
And all of you.
And yes.
You're all looking so handsome
Thank
all
you.
dressed up this morning.
Listen, we our shirts are all pressed and nice and
I'm
everything.
very impressed.
Yeah.
Don't be.
We're
Wait till
gonna
after the
everything
show.
up. Yeah.
T-shirts and
Yeah.
I won't even recognize you.
Exactly.
Right?
That's it. Well, it is an honor and pleasure to have you here and to meet you.
Thank you very much.
What a wonderful person.
Thank you.
Yeah, and great history, great family, and I'm impressed.
And
Thank you.
you're not the type of person that gets tired of talking about it.
No, because I spent so much time with my parents, with their friends. When I was younger, I enjoyed hanging out with their friends more than I did people my own age.
Exactly.
And so it was a lot of life skills that I learned because of that, because my parents took us to a lot of places when we were young. And again, that's
Got involved with
an
you.
opportunity. And, I was shy as a kid. And, you just got to learn to stand up for yourself, speak out, get involved, and be passionate
And do
about
it.
what you're doing, no matter what it is. And you'll have multiple passions, which is even better. Charitable initiatives, all of that. Giving back is a very special thing.
And rewarding.
Very rewarding.
Yep.
Yes.
I spent 20 years as a volunteer at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, and part of me is what you see today because of that.
Right.
And I would have never guessed that when I first started out. I was in for the party, baby.
Yeah.
But it evolved and it became a passion, and I will never forget it. And that's what you're talking about.
I started a charitable car show years ago in Old Town Torrance. I didn't have it around the company and our facilities. A young girl that I met, she wanted to get more into event planning, and she had a small car show down in Redondo Beach. I brought one of our collection. Yeah, poor thing, she had like 20 cars. And I said, well, if you really want to do this, let's get started and put something together.
Right.
And my son was going to study table after school, because I was working till all hours of the night. And by the time I got home, he didn't want to do his homework with me. And so the first car show in Old Town Torrance, they gave us the whole town. I mean, just went off with a hit, thank goodness. Because the night before, I was deathly afraid, people will think that I know what I'm doing in regards to a car show. I have no idea. No idea. Right? And so that was a huge hit. And then I moved it to the corporate location around a distribution center. And of course, I had to have a party the night before.
Oh, yeah.
So we had a big gala party. We had silent auctions. We had these Letterman jackets for Eldebrock. And Jay Leno's a good friend, and Parnelli Jones, and so I got all these guys to sign this Letterman jacket. It sold for $20,000.
Wow.
Way to go.
And that went so well. We put up another one, and we got everyone else that was,
Yes,
there
of the
to
name,
sign
yeah.
it again. Ed Iskandarian, Ed Pink, all of the great guys.
But that's getting back to the first original show that she wanted to do that you supported her. That's what it is.
Yeah. And it was over an 8-year period. We raised about $600,000 for a small school in the local area, Torrance, that worked with complex challenged children. And 9 out of 10 of these kids were one step into institutional care because their parents had no idea what to do with them, And, autism, Asperger's, those children, they're 9 times out of 10, they're brilliant, genius level. But it's just how you
How to
connect
reach them,
with them.
yes.
Yes. And, our school systems, kids don't all learn the same way, so things evolve and we need to, give them what they need. So they say,
Open them up to bring that out.
stay
right.
inspired and want to move on and have a fruitful life, Yeah.
Good stuff.
We're coming to your house after the show.
I have a beautiful place.
I can only imagine, and we're coming. That's all there is to it.
Okay.
We just
come on
invited
over.
ourselves because we
Yeah.
want to spend more time with you.
Yeah.
We've got another hour and a half to go on the show,
Yeah.
and then we'll be over. But it's
Yeah.
a true honor and pleasure to have you here
Oh,
today.
great.
Thank you.
Anytime. I'm happy to do it.
So
appreciate
you'll
it.
be getting a phone call from us sometime later in the year.
Do we turn left at the sign?
Exactly. Christi Edelbrock, thanks again. We
Thank you
appreciate
very much.
stopping
Thank you,
by.
guys. It's
Okay.
super.
Hey, InWheelTime invites you to join us 10 to noon Central Time every Saturday for our live show about all things automotive, and we hope that you'll want to get a whiff as well. And don't forget, we're on podcasts all throughout the week. Go to InWheelTime.com. What else? What am I missing there, Mars?
The stop point so we can hit the buttons to
Okay,
to
so
go to the
all
break.
right. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this message.
The Tex-Mex dining experience is defined by Lupi Tortilla, your destination for Texas's best beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. Since 1983, Lupi Tortilla has served authentic and time-tested recipes made with the freshest ingredients. Atmosphere is part of the award-winning experience at Lupi Tortilla, all developed in a little house near Highway 6 and I-10 in Houston. Visit any of the Lupi Tortillas and you'll see the same attention to detail in each and every location. Start your Lupi experience with queso flammeado and guacamole, along with a classic frozen margarita. Dine on famous Lupi beef and chicken fajitas or pepper shrimp brochette, or a fish or vegetarian entree, and finish with a scrumptious flan for dessert. Find Lupi Tortilla in Houston, College Station, Beaumont, Austin, San Antonio, and Dallas-Fort Worth. There's a Texas location near you. The recipes are authentic and time-tested. The ingredients always fresh. Lupi Tortilla. Eats pretty good. Apple or Android, InWheelTime podcasts can be found everywhere, on the stream and through downloads. Whether you're on the road or at home and searching for a fun car talk show, give InWheelTime a try. Honest new car reviews, fun, informative interviews with real car people, weekly automotive news, features like Jeff's Car Culture, Mike's Driving Destinations, all on InWheelTime. Check us out on SiriusXM Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or while you're shopping on Amazon through Amazon Music. InWheelTime.com has a list, so check us out.
Welcome back to the InWheelTime Car Talk Show. Today coming to you from the Lone Star Street Rod Association State-Run Car Show at Hewlett Park in Granbury, Texas.
Woo-hoo.
We're just about an hour or so south of Fort Worth. It's a beautiful little lakeside town here, if you've never heard of Granbury.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It is, and I think that you would enjoy it if you ever come up. I will tell you this. Today's forecast had it forecasted high of 99 today. We're going to try to get out of here before it hits 99, but just saying.
Well, we're fortunate. There's a nice breeze coming through. We do have our little fans going on, but there is a nice breeze. So
it is,
very
and we're
fortunate.
very thankful for that.
There's no
And
mosquitoes.
Yeah,
There's
and you'll notice that the lighting may not be perfect for us here, but I will tell you this. It sure beats the heck sitting out in the sunshine.
Yeah, it does.
So there's that. All right, time now for Jeff's Motor Minute.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Formula One in depth, or I haven't, and I haven't talked about Cadillac.
Well, I
and
used
all
to
that
not
good
like
stuff.
Formula
Well,
One.
I got a hankering because of the Cadillac.
I got you.
So Colton Herta is going to be driving the Cadillac. It's been announced just recently this past week. Colton Herta, he's part of the Indy Racing League. He stepped into Formula One this past weekend in Barcelona, which we're going to talk about during the racing calendar if we get there. But he's going to be running the Cadillac. He's a 26-year-old American kid. Walked away from a successful career at Indy and joined the high-tech and Formula 2 racing with an eye on Formula One. And it's like the NXT series in Indy or the
ARCA.
yeah. It's the lower series. It's required to do that. So Herta will compete in the Cadillac this Friday, which was yesterday. He replaces Perez at the Circuit de Catalunya, Barcelona.
Look at you. Let me see
I practiced that word Catalunya.
Catalunya.
Yeah, Catalunya. That's my Spanish.
Well, I think that goes hand in hand with Cadillac, too. But go ahead.
I speak Brazilian,
Uh-huh.
Barcelonian. So it's the Spanish Grand Prix, traditionally a favorite venue. The
A
teams.
little familiar with Brazilian, but
Yep.
not in that regard.
Okay. How much does that cost you? Off of one of the FP1
I'm
sessions. I lost my place. He had a time in the simulator in Charlotte. He learned the track and the track's procedures and, did all that on the off season. And he's working with the team in Silverstone, his team, the Cadillac team in Silverstone. The Silverstone is in Europe. Yes, so very nice. They got track and all that good stuff. So long story short, for the minute, he's testing. He's going to run the Formula FP2. He's getting into Cadillac, and the person he's replacing is not happy. Perez is not happy because he hadn't been performing, but they kind of put him aside. So there you go.
They put him aside.
They put him aside.
So what happened to Jeff Zeka? Now they put me aside.
They put me aside. He didn't perform well, and the Cadillac team says, "Okay, we're going to take Herta. He's going to take place for the."
Did he ever win Indy? Herta? I know that he was successful in the series.
He's won. The kid's won some races,
Yeah.
but he hasn't won any championships or anything.
Interesting.
But he's a good driver.
I have made fun of Mitsubishi for quite some time on this show. Like forever, since day one. Well, they're trying to pump it up. We're going to pump you up.
Pump you up.
Mitsubishi will enter the increasingly crowded U.S. midsize pickup segment with a new truck sourced from Nissan as it tries to lift its sagging business by siphoning sales from the market-leading Toyota Tacoma, Chevy Colorado, and Ford Ranger. The new entry will be built by Nissan at a U.S. factory, according to a person familiar with the plan. Mitsubishi did not detail a launch timeline, but Nissan Frontier midsize pickup is expected to get a redesign around 2028 as part of Nissan's rollout of a new frame-based vehicle architecture that will underpin the Xterra SUV and other products built at its Canton, Mississippi plant. Pickup will be part of Mitsubishi's three-pronged plan for reviving the U.S. operations. And I will say this, that they employ a lot of people, and as long as they don't build the car, they do great. I don't remember the name of the vehicle that's been around for a while now, but when it first came out, I thought, well, dang, this is a pretty nice vehicle. We'll come to find out it was built by somebody else with the Mitsubishi name on it, and they put, front and rear ends on it, and everything would look good.
I got a feeling this one's going to take off. It's probably going to blow the doors off the ones that are out there.
Yeah,
perhaps.
It's going to have to if it's going to take from the Tacoma and mid-sized GM
all
products.
that.
I mean, even the Ford Ranger, the cities down there are buying Ford Rangers.
It's going to be like a Frankenstein type.
Well, kind of. But they don't Frankenstein them like they used to.
They're going to take parts of this and parts of that, but it's probably going to take off, my opinion.
Let's hope.
All right.
Good for them.
Nothing
but good luck.
Yeah.
All right. The InWheelTime Car Talk Show needs to take a break. We'll be back at Hewlett Park in the Lone Star Street Rod Association State Run. So stay with us. We'll be back after this break.
Your car is a direct reflection of you, so don't be satisfied with color fade or a dingy, dull appearance. Get rid of those terrible automated car wash scratches. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your Save the Paint company. John Gray and his team of detailing experts can help your car's finish without a full repaint. Searching for real experts in window tint or windshield protection? Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Dash cams, radar detectors, Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Got a new car? Get it protected as soon as you take delivery. If you don't know which of the multitude of protection products to go with, John Gray will give you an honest opinion and won't sell you something you don't need. John will help you understand the many options and pricing right on the spot. He's your guy to have your ride looking its best and protected too. See the state-of-the-art shop yourself. Free tours anytime. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is easy to get to, located just south of the Southwest Freeway on the Sam Houston Parkway. Gulf Coast Auto Shield, full-service luxury car care today and online at gcautoshield.com. Gift giving should be meaningful, and we have an idea. A hand-painted custom illustration of your car from one of the nation's leading artists. Now you can get one or a car show poster customized for you, a friend, or a loved one. Bill Seitz will be happy to guide you through the process. No matter what the day, birthday, anniversary, or any day, an Autographics custom illustration adds an extra touch of class to any home. Call Bill today, 832-922-0963. That's 832-922-0963. That's it for this podcast episode of the InWheelTime Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.